Dark Souls Remastered review slash kind of overview of, yeah, I guess I'll have an overview of Dark Souls and Demon Souls, because Demon Souls I can't record on my PS3 because I don't have a capture card and shit. So, Dark Souls Remastered. Main differences from the, the original version on PS3, 360, PC, whatever. On a Pro or Xbox One X, it's supposed to run at 4K, I believe, and at 60 FPS. Same at regular Xbox and regular PS4, it's 1080p, 60 FPS. I believe the online has been pushed up to 6 players, 3 invaders, 2 allies, and 3 leave. I believe that's how it is, but I know it's 6 in total. Passwords have been put in. Some balancing to, like, how healing works and stuff when you're fighting people. The arena, I know, has been kind of tweaked. Oh, 3v3 and 6-player deathmatch have been added. Okay. Yeah. And a couple of tweaks here. They added a bonfire by Vamos, which is a blacksmith. The textures have been redone. The fire is also different with the effects and stuff, which I'm cool with that. I don't like how they did it for the bonfire. The bonfire used to be, same with that, the screen wipe used to be different as well. The bonfire used to not be a literal fire. Like, it was a fire, but it looked like a magical fire. Like there was something mystical about it. It wasn't just any, random bonfire. There was something special about it. I don't like that they changed that. It was really cool when you really got that bonfire, like, fully leveled up. It really looked special, especially at Firelink. But it's overall not that many changes. They let you change the size of the HUD now. So if I turn my HUD on, you see UI scale, I can make it bigger or smaller. This is how it was originally. I like things not taking up screen space, so I make it smaller. Not much else is different. You can now, there's one control setting that lets you sprint and jump with L3, which is a nice change. Which they put in Dark Souls 2, and now, put it in this. And also the holding down on D-pad to go back to your Estus or whatever you have as your first selectable. So that's pretty much all the main stuff that's different. If you've never played Dark Souls and you don't have a PC, well, actually, I don't even think you can get the old version on Steam anymore. So if you don't want to get it by other means, and you don't already have it, then you're better off. You should get this version. But if you already have the PC version, there's no point in getting this one. You can get the few mods that make the game just as good, and even better in some ways. But I have always loved Dark Souls. To me, when this game came out, it was like a 10 out of 10. It was straight up just a 10 out of 10. Now, with a lot of the other RPGs that have come out and remakes of games and stuff, I still think this is a 10 out of 10 game. Demon Souls, at the time when that came out too, was a 10 out of 10 game for me, because that was fucking hard. And whereas Dark Souls is kind of more, I don't know what you would say, I guess more like a high fantasy type thing. No, it's weird. Demon Souls was it was still fantasy, but it was dark, and it was kind of gritty, like more gritty than Dark Souls, and it was just more grounded. Whereas Dark Souls is much more high fantasy type thing. Demon Souls was its own its own beast. I love Demon Souls. Demon Souls will always have a place in my heart. But Demon Souls also, you had a hub, you know, kind of like this, and there'd be like gravestones up on these stairs, and you would go to a gravestone, click it, and you'd be, you know, a loading screen, teleport to a new map, play through that map with 3 checkpoints, you know, play through the map, boss, it's your first checkpoint, play through the next section of the map, boss, get your next checkpoint, last section of the map, boss. That's how it worked in Demon Souls. You had World 1-1, and World 1-2, 1-3, and 2-1, 2-2, 2-3, 3-1, 3-2, 3-3, so on and so on. Dark Souls takes that and puts them all in one world where you can pretty much kind of see it all from right here. You start the game, you know, you come in, people who know the story, it's an old game. But when you get through the tutorial area and you come here, and you kind of realize this is your hub or whatever, you're like, okay, cool. But from here, you can see, I'm pretty sure that's the upper Undead Berg or whatever. That tree is supposed to be the, oh, what's it called? Oh, what's it called? I don't remember what it's called. The big tree. The great big tree. I can't remember what it's called exactly. But at least it's Stone Dragon. But that's a great big tree, so that's an area. And at the bottom of that tree is Blighttown. That's another area, and that leads into this whole lava area where you can see, you know, another. The whole world of Dark Souls is connected, where, you know, as long as you're running around this world, and you kind of recognize where you are, you can see a lot of the places. Yeah, see, Blighttown's like down there. The tree. You go in and go down the tree. That leads up there to the berg. That's the bird that brings you here and takes you back to the prison. It's kind of sad that we never go down here. We never see what's going on down here. That seems pretty cool to me. Anyways. So, and like even if you come through here, you know, back to the bonfire. Actually, let's not even go to the bonfire. If you come up here, oh man, you're still alive? Oh shit, this is a new game.
I'm suffering.
So I couldn't remember if I was on New Game Plus or not. It's character. It should have been obvious. My character's pretty leveled up. So, if you come here, you know, that's an elevator that takes you up to another area, which, you know, has its own shortcuts that lead to other areas. And, you know, you can traverse the whole map of this game pretty much without ever, you know, touching a loading screen. And back then, you know, when this first came out, that was a pretty big deal. It kind of lent itself to how big the world was, and you know, if a character told you they came from here, they went from one place to another place, you pretty much knew the route they took or what it took for them to get there. You could kind of visualize it because you pretty much walked the same path. Yeah, my controller done. My analog sticks so done. It's not only is the world really interconnected, there's a lot of lore in the world. There's NPCs that give you story. There's actually, you know what? There's a whole bunch of different. Well, maybe not a whole bunch, but there's a few different ways that you can go through the game. And kind of just break the game pretty much. If you know what you're doing. But the first time you go through, there's a pretty well thought out way of where you're going. Oh my god, where am I? Oh, I'm here. So, this is a new character I started, you know, a mage character. Jeez, that looks sick. And so see, there's an NPC here. This is early on in the game.
Still closed. Still closed.
This is the Onion Knight. so he can't get through the gate. But if I, you know, do something, open the gate, and come back here, he would have gone through, and then I might find him, you know, I might find him in the fortress again, you know, talk to him, get some more story, or, you know, maybe help him out with something. There's NPCs, you know, there's multiple quest lines that you can follow through and miss out on and, you know, completely fuck up. Or, you know, I could just go up there right now and just start killing him and, you know, take his armor and weapon if I like it. Oh man, I gotta run. The other thing about this game, early on in the game, when you know, when you travel somewhere, you can't teleport. In 2, could you teleport? Yeah, 2 you could teleport right away, and 3 you could teleport right away. In Dark Souls 1, man, when you travel somewhere and you want to go back to like the hub or something, you're far away. For like the first half of the game, you just gotta run there. Like, I'm in the Undead Parish now. Did I kill this thing? Yeah, I killed that thing. That leads to Darkroot Garden, which I can take another shortcut, which will bring me back up to the Berg. Is that right? Yeah, to the demon, the Taurus demon, and run backwards. Or I could go back up here and take the elevator down. Oh my god, I forgot about the elevator for a second. This game has all these different ways to go through, and it's, you know, my guy looks completely different because he's wearing different gear. It's, you know, just like all the other RPGs. You know, today you have gear, you have armor. They all have stats and everything to help you. You know, if you come up against a boss that's doing, you know, a lot of magic damage. You'd probably be a good idea to wear armor that has a lot of magic defense, right? But then is it too heavy? Because if it's too heavy, you can't wear it, because then, you know, your roll becomes shit. But you can spec your character like that, so if you want to make your character a tank, so you never roll, but you just have pure stamina and health, and you just, you know, tank every hit you can. There's that too. This game has replay value. It has a lot of replay value. With, you know, playing the game again with different builds, or kind of seeing how different quest lines play. Maybe not different quest. There's only like 2 quest lines really, I guess, that really change. That you can really, you know, do a different path. Just really change it. Change what what happens within the quest, instead of just like yes or no, this person dies or doesn't die. But there's a couple surprises. I wouldn't want to ruin them, but it's such an old game, you know, with like Lautrec. How he kills the firekeeper and shit. Like when that first happened, I was pissed. And I had no idea what the fuck. Like what? Oh man. First time I didn't put it together that it was Lautrec. And then when I seen him, I was like, oh my god. No, fuck yeah, you were sitting right across from her. I was like, ah, shit. So there's...
Oh,
you gonna say something different?
Miracles?
Yeah, you're still a little
Come
bitch.
again.
I mean, I guess I shouldn't tell you why he's a little bitch, but he's a little bitch. But... I think he saved him. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, he already killed my bonfire. That's right. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What? Restoring your humanity?
So this is what I mean by NPCs will give you, you know, some info and, you know, about the world.
Bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter
So he's telling me how to get humanity.
and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I'd never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all.
So he tells you that, and if you talk to him again, because, you know, he just told you, oh, killing a healthy, you know, alive, healthy dude, and taking his humanity is a way to restore your humanity. Because, you know, this whole game is about being an undead dude who can't die, but you slowly lose your humanity, which you know, makes you go mad and hollow, and you lose your soul or whatever. It's complicated, sort of. That's a whole different story. I'm not going to go into the whole lore of this game, but it does have a lot of lore.
What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever.
So,
You
because he just told us,
might
about
regret
stealing
it.
someone's humanity, and he's healthy, kind of implies that, oh, we're looking at him try and fucking take his humanity.
Don't you ever think to forge your weapons? You'd better find a smith box soon.
Tells you to find a smith
unless
box
you
to upgrade
enjoy
your weapon.
swinging about with blunt instruments.
So, he's the first guy that you talk to that kind of gives you hints on how to play the game, or where to go, or what your objective should be, or whatever. But this game doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't tell you where to go, really. Although if you really, pay attention, it kind of does. The level design is great. The world is great. First time, and even now, the graphics are still pretty good. Like, it's still a beautiful game to me, especially at certain points. When you get to certain areas and stuff. There's build variety. You can play as a mage, you can play as a tank, you can play as a backstabbing dagger dude. You can go into health. You can play as a naked dude who just wants to beat the game with just using his fist if you want. You can do crazy shit in this game, and by now, if you've heard of Dark Souls, you've known of all the crazy shit people have done with this game. And yeah, I gotta say the best part of this game is the world. Like the combat. The combat's fine, but it's pretty basic. The combat is pretty basic. You get weapons that do different things or whatever, and I have my magic and stuff. But it's pretty basic. What really makes it special is how you can really build them to do different things, and if you're a mage character, you get a lot of different spells. If you're, if you want to use weapons, you get a lot of different weapons, right? This game has a ton of weapons. And every weapon, every piece of armor, every item, has a description telling you things either about the weapon, or it might have some lore behind it, or like, do I have a straight sword? Yeah. Straight sword of an unknown knight, likely one of the store's superiors. High quality weapon with a powerful blessing. So kind of tells you a store's people like like blessings and miracles and shit. But on what the Estes is. An emerald flask from the Keeper's soul. She lives to protect the flame and dies to protect the further. So there's all these things. There's a lot of lore. There's a lot of story, even where like where I got this whole armor set. It's kind of important because there's only like, I think 3 of these dudes? 4. I think 4. So there's things to learn, there's characters to meet. Even though this isn't like the most action-oriented, flashy game, it's a deep game. There's a lot of bosses, there's a lot of different types of enemies. The level design is great, the pacing is great. There isn't a huge amount of voice acting, but for what's there, they all act pretty good.
Come again.
Actually, really good, actually. The graphics still hold up, still kind of. It still has some things that aren't too great, but it's still a good game. It's still a great game. I still come back and play it every now and again. And I'm gonna do a review of Bloodborne as well in Dark Souls 3. But this and Demon Souls will pretty much always have a place in my heart. Demon Souls I like more because I like the setting of Demon Souls more. That gritty kind of more grounded take on fantasy, horror, kind of Cthulhu type shit. Tower of Latria kind of gets into that, whatever. And Demon Souls had its own thing with like the Shrine of Storms and everything. Giant fucking stingrays flying in the sky and whatever. I like Demon Souls more for some reason. I wish they remade Demon Souls in like Dark Souls 3 engine or Bloodborne's engine or something, and fucking love it. I fucking love it. But for what it's worth, if you haven't, if you're, you know, if you've never played a Souls game and you like RPGs, and no, yes, the game's hard. But the game's only hard if you don't really pay attention to what you're doing, and you don't really get into the menus and figure out what's what, you know, what helps your build, what you're going for. You have a stat tree. I mean, a stat tree, like a stat thing where you level up, you know, your strength, your dex, your health, your endurance. So, you know, I'm a mage, so I'm gonna want to put up a lot of intelligence. Faith is for miracles. Resistances. I don't even know why that's in this game. Don't ever, like, don't touch resistance. No matter what, just don't touch it. Just leave it alone. Just let it sit there where it is, because it's fucking useless. And you want to always have endurance. Intelligence, strength, and dex, those are your main, and faith, those are your main, like, damage dealers. So you put one of those up along with endurance. And then health, as you go along the game, when, you know, you start to feel like, man, I'm just getting, like, two-shot by shit. Alright, you start putting up some health and stuff. There's a lot of enemies, you know, even the, you know, like, those regular dudes up there, they can murk me, they can kill me real quick. My character's not leveled up, but he's level 20, so even these guys, they'll kill me pretty fast. Yeah, maybe not that fast. You can see, like, I'm only level 20. So the game is, like, not... It's not that hard. You just need to learn it. You just need to take a bit of time and learn how the game is. The game also has a lot of tricks. So, like, you know, when you come here, you think, oh, I'm going to fight that guy. Yeah, but then he starts throwing bombs at you. It has all these little ways of luring you in and tricking you and trapping you and just making you, getting you into a situation where, you know, you think you could handle it, but then no, nope, you don't. You really fucked up. And then you come here, you try and attack him, and you're like, oh fuck, this guy's here now, and then, you know, it becomes a whole shit show. And oh, I'm surprised he didn't aggro. Why didn't he aggro? Okay, whatever. You know, even, you know, enemy placement is cool. The enemies you fight, there's a lot of them. The bosses are really well done and even have lore behind them. There isn't really anything in this game in terms of cutscenes, really. There's one in the beginning, a few throughout the game, like very few. And they're not like serious, insane 20-minute cutscenes or anything. They're like, you know, like a minute and a half, maybe. And it's no one talking, it's just like a fly through of the world or showing you something or where you have to go or something. It's only at the end where you get a cutscene where, you know, people actually talking and stuff. The other time is when you're talking, you meet NPCs.
Certainly not keeping at it. Myself, I'm fine.
Let's see, you know, I saved this guy. Because I saved him and, you know, he came back to Firelink. He sells me spells now. So that's what I mean when I say when you go through the game, you can miss things. You can, like, you know, you play through a mage character and you don't know, you never seen this guy, you never saved him, you never got the key to open the door. You miss out. You miss out on you know, getting spells from him early in the game. And they don't cost them, that one costs a lot, 8,000, but that'll carry you through the game a decent amount. I should just grind and buy those from him, actually. But there isn't really a way I can slant this game. The remastered version, I can slant a couple of things about it, you know, like the particle effects. I know people don't like the fact that you can change Covenant to the bonfire now, but I think it's just a quality of life thing. I'm fine with it. You can use multiple items at once, you know, so before you would have to use one item at a time, you know, use one, open back the menu, find it, use it again, open back the menu, like, now it'll ask you, you know, which is another quality of life thing from, I can't remember if that was in 2, but it was in 3. The UI thing, I wish the UI auto hid. like it did in Dark Souls 3. I wish they updated that for Bloodborne as well, but I'll do Bloodborne another time. But it's a fun game. It's a good RPG all around. You can summon people for help. It has multiplayer. It is a co-op type game where you can play through with people. The only problem is, you know, you can get invaded. Probably will get invaded, and you have to fight them and deal with that. And that's a whole other issue about the game, you know, with twinks coming in, and you know, you're like level 6, and some guy comes in and he's level like 10, but he has like a max upgraded weapon and shit. There's just some things like that. Well, not a max upgraded weapon, but certain spells, certain armors, certain rings. There's shit that really helps them, you know, outclass your character. So there's little issues here and there, but even today, even now, I still think it's one of the best games. I still think it's a game everyone should play. If you have it on PC already, just stick with the PC version to Prepare to Die edition with the mods. If you don't have it, I'd say get this. It's probably cheaper now, you know, you can probably get it for 10-20 bucks. If you haven't played RPGs, this is one RPG to definitely play. It has story, it has graphics, it's long, it has replayability, it has build variety, it's cool. Like it has lore, it has multiplayer, it's decent in length, pacing is well done. You know, you meet characters you hate, you meet characters you love. The voice acting's well done. And even though the story is not told to you in a conventional way of, you know, just cutscene, exposition, cutscene. Like, if you look for the story, you can find it. You can so fucking find it. Carved from the bones of fellow demons, wielded by the lesser Taurus demons. So that kind of tells you that the Taurus demons just killed other demons and made this axe out of their bones. Black Knight Great Axe, so this is one of the weapons Black Knights used to fight the Chaos Demons. And they made him large because, you know, the demons were large. Makes one wide weapon open. Oh, it doesn't tell you, oh shit. What else does it tell you? I can't remember what it tells you, but the occult thing is to kill gods. I can't remember what other weapon tells you that. Oh, so see this hammer, I got this hammer from a boss. Well, you don't get it from a boss, you kill the boss and then you come buy it from a guy. This hammer, he ate people. And because of that, he could never become a knight and stayed an executioner. So, you know, there's a story to be had and a story to find and things to learn. But, you kind of have to look for it. You know, you gotta go into the menus and read it. You gotta, you know, kind of put things together yourself. But I kind of like that for it. It lets you find things out yourself. And also this game has secrets. And they're fucking cool. And I'm playing in offline mode right now, but when you play in online mode, you know, you'll see messages on the ground. You'll see messages on the ground and stuff that could kind of trick you or help you. Let's see if I get to see any at Firelink. God, I don't know messages about it. Let's see, is there a message in front of the haircut man? Oh, see, here's the message. Death message. Okay, so no messages. But that's how the messages look. But you can get a mod on PC that makes the messages look even better than that. You know, so... PC version is still the best way to play this game, but this version is still... It really helps, especially that it's 60 frames and it has a bunch of quality of life improvements. It is a lot better. Not better than the PC version with mods, but it is better than the original version. And I think, you know, even with all RPGs today and stuff, and, you know, third-person action games, this game to me is still one of the best. Demon Souls are right up there with it. I like Demon Souls more in this game because of the setting and the story. Maybe not the story, but the setting for sure, and how everything is presented in that game. Like the Tower of Latria is, I'll always remember that. And the first time coming to Boletaria and the castle walls and stuff, and seeing the dragons for the first time, and its tail just whacking me off the map and shit. I always love Demon Souls. Demon Souls to me is fuck. I love Demon Souls. And it's be kind of biased because I love all Souls games, but shit, man. Demon Souls to me is like a 9. It had some issues. It didn't run that great. It ran pretty well, but had a few hitches here and there. Yeah, and I feel like controls and stuff could have been a bit better and dodging and everything, but that might be just me. That might be me just being spoiled from playing like Dark Souls 3 and stuff, where it let you dodge in any way and sprint while you're locked on and everything. So that might be on me. But yeah, Demon Souls then it had a few hitches running on PS3. It ran pretty well in most cases, but some parts it stuttered a tad. But frame rate went down a little bit. It could have used better resolution too. You kind of really see that now as well. And the world wasn't as interconnected. The maps were great, but it wasn't interconnected like Dark Souls. So I'd give Demon Souls like a 9, and I'd give Dark Souls like a 10 because it even though I like Demon Souls world more, Dark Souls world is done just better. It's done better justice in pretty much every way. Dark Souls 3, I'll do that video at some point. Same with Bloodborne. I'll tell you right now, of all the Souls games though, Bloodborne is probably my favorite. Yeah. I'll probably say Bloodborne is my favorite. I'll save that for that video. Alright, Dark Souls. Or Dark Souls Remastered. And I guess Demon Souls. I guess this covers those two. Dark Souls 2. I might reinstall it and do that. But that game had its positives. You know, it had things that it iterated on and did better, but it also lacked in a lot of ways too. It's kind of iffy, but it's still a good game, but not an amazingly great game like, you know, to be like this. Oh yeah, and see, you can also see other people's ghosts and stuff when they're playing. So there is, like, you know, a pseudo online component to this game. Well, all the Souls games. So we will continue from here. Well, I don't know which one I'll do first, Dark Souls 3 or Bloodborne, but one of them. Alright, take it easy. That is Dark Souls.